thing?
Okay, the basic problem is regarding every field is the same thing. You get people to work, but then there are not proper trained individuals in the field. That is the real problem. So we'll have to encourage the youths to pursue certain things so that they are actually motivated enough to take this field, to do something in this field, because the lack of awareness, forget about the issues, lack of awareness about this field itself is a issue. So training them, of course, yes, but again, wanting to be trained is another thing, right? So every year, every year we have certain number of graduates who pass out, become MDs also, who become psychiatrists. Every year there are people, certain amount of people who, but that's not enough. But again, just getting them out there is not going to solve the issue. Just having multiple people, it's not going to solve the issue, because the resources has to be manned also. So that is not there, that link up is not there, and some kind of build up has to be there, or motivation should be given to the youth to take up this, and then they can train themselves and then come out of it.
Do you think, like, what comes to mind is, I think I mentioned it to you yesterday, or like my mother used to say, 11 out of 10 psychologists are themselves mad. So is there stigma related to the field still? Is there some stigma that, okay, no, though you, like, it's better you don't go into this line, like even psychiatrists?
It's a tough job. You have to have certain level of capacities to be able to handle that kind of stress themselves. And then, right, like I said, forget about the people, we also need certain amount of de-stress, that but where do we go? That itself is an issue, no? Like we deal with like we discussed yesterday also, we deal with certain issues, a lot of issues of other people. It definitely will affect us somehow. It may not be to a great extent, but then we are listening to all this traumatic events. We are seeing patients, we are listening to these traumatic events time and again. So it bogs us down also. So what do we do then? So that itself is again a problem. And then when we go to seek help, it's like we are not a good mental health professionals, right? Yeah. So when we need help, so it's like we are looked down upon. Like, forget about other people. Our own professional people who are in mental health only look down upon. Like, how is she going to treat she herself needs?
That's, I've heard that also.
Right. So it actually means a cardiac surgeon who actually had a stroke. How can he treat someone else? Makes no sense. Right? So something like that, we also need a certain level of catharsis to be exact. We also need that supporting factors. We also need that coping mechanism, and when we do that, we should not be looked down upon.
I think then that was,
there are certain conventional concept about a career. When you're looking for a career, I don't know how prominent it is here in Sikkim, but most part of India, like when you want to become like successful in your life, first comes like you're a doctor. When you say doctor, it's a medical doctor, and engineer. So, and then other things come, like and I just recall, like while I was giving a motivational talk to one of the schools, like there were almost 300 kids, and then it was done, and then one kid comes to me and asked, and I explained about who is a psychologist and who is a clinical psychologist. The questions came up, and then the first question the kid asked me was, sir, how much do you earn? Then I said, then why do you ask? Then I asked, first, why do you ask that question? Like, if I want to pursue it as my career, first my concern would be how much I will be able to earn. Then I said, in this profession, like, anything related to mental health, it's purely a helping profession. If you're looking for, of course, if you set up your own mental health profession, hospital or clinics or whatever, we can earn, like, if
it's a business model.
If it's a business model, but people, those who are coming into this field, surely, like, basic human quality for everyone, it is important. First thing that is expected is of empathy, that you truly, because, and then first thing, you need to help yourself, only then you will be able to help others. So, because this profession, in a way, that's weird while we do our courses, and then it is taught to us, sometimes, like, the course is so much like drilling, and then you get a lot of stress, and then because the proper training needs to make sure that are you able to take care of the situation, are you able to handle, like, suppose if I'm messed up with my aunt, we talked about anxiety and depression, and hearing about the talk itself, if I'm anxious what I'm going to talk, how people are going to take it, whether it's going to be accepted, it's that quite human that can come to us. So if we ourselves are, if we don't have the presence of mind to see nothing is an end of the world, and then things have its own like basis. So first thing for us, as you asked, I don't know, I would completely agree with your mom, like, 10 out of, maybe 1 out of 11 could be, but may not be 10. And I would say maybe I might be that one who is not. So this has its own challenges. And then, as I said, it's a helping profession.
Okay.
And if somebody who is focusing on making a lot of money, it could, but if that's the focus, it's not going to help people, because the first thing comes, like, you have compassion, you have empathy, and then the first thing that connects more than your professional skill, your academic skills, what connects to another person when somebody with a problem, like psychological problem, when they come to you, the first thing is, like, how you connect with that person, your positive energy that you hold, and it's all on your attitude, and then how you balance your life. So it is important for anyone who wants to come to this field. Is challenging. Anybody who cares about, hey, I have realized certain things, I have learned certain things, and these things have helped me, and it becomes my next responsibility to how do I help with what I know, and then why should we do it, right? It's I would finally say, like, it's for my own benefit, that the theory of self-actualization by Abraham Maslow, like, all of us human beings, our mental health is based on, and it's one of the most prominent psychological theories that is addressed. If someone is trying to, like, to prevent the mental health issues, that, as the topic itself, as we are going to discuss on itself, is, I have certain plans, certain orientation, and all the orientations will be based on my needs. And Maslow gives a very clear pyramid of needs, like 5 needs, like, like basic physiological need, roti, kapda, makan. Then that's if I'm going to teach anything, and then if I'm hungry, and then I'm not going to take. That's the first basic need. And then there is safety needs. I need to feel protected, and that's a safety need is closely associated with the anxiety and so life situations. And the third one is like kind of love and acceptance need. That's why in the last talk we discussed about we need each other, and then to feel accepted and loved by, these are needs actually. Even if I might say as a human being, these are all strong base, physical and then psychological needs. The fourth one is like esteem. That's where what we are discussing on what do you want to pursue in your life, what career you want to, because I want to be a doctor, I want to be recognized as a, and these are good, and it is needed for us to have a healthy mental health status, and then prevent any kind of mental. And the last one is like kind of self-actualization. All these needs are met, and then step by step or parallelly I'm fulfilling, like, and then this, when it comes self-actualization, it comes the concept known as altruism, that I'm not trying to be selfish, without expecting anything. I'm reaching out, and that's what exactly gives maximum satisfaction to any human being. That my life is something like and that part of any profession, even doctors, all of them have these basic needs, what I said, how much you earn, that comes under the first need. And then if you do it well, if you are a very good doctor, any physician, if you do it well, you surely earn the love of your patients and acceptance by your patients. And surely if you are in that level, you surely have a good both. You go to that doctor for this particular reason. And then finally, the ultimate form is like, I'm being useful. Okay, this sharing. If you ask, why do we do these discussions? Right? I don't think you're earning millions out of this podcast. Are you?
Nothing.
Yeah. And then, okay, certain people are looking for certain understanding in their own background. And then when you have some resources, like, suppose I'm here, you know her, and anyone who is involved in this talk show is like, so, okay, let me put this out because I have these resources, or you have a podcast platform. So, and then someone would benefit out of it. You're not thinking about your own benefit, right? And the effort you had to put into it. So, and then what do you feel? By the end of the day, what do you get? Hey, I've been useful for others. That's the stepping. That's what we call it as self-actualization. Every person needs it.
Okay.
And without that, that's why, if you see, philosophy of, everything on this planet is made for a purpose. Whether it's a plant, it's a grass, or any seed, any fruit, it's useful for the other. And then, the process of depression.
Okay.
Most of the dominant thought, I'm not needed.
Worthlessness.
I'm worthlessness that comes, I'm not needed. Nobody needs me. And so that's one of the reasons, people, when they lose the meaning in their life, purpose in their life, that's where we tend to devalue ourselves. And then once you don't value yourself, so your value is not mostly attributed by others. Of course, if it's attributed by others or you get appreciation on the basis of what you do, that's well and good. But you have a process of your own way of, that's why people who are self-actualized, not in a full sense, but these are the path or kind of focus we are journeying on.
Okay.
So that gives you more meaning. That's what the ultimate happiness or joy is, where you have a self-actualization, where most of all these needs are met. And then, altruism, like when I say altruism, you're ready to, nothing is, even if I lose all this, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to affect me.